And we are live. Good morning, crypto warriors, and welcome back to the Gentleman of Crypto, episode 935. Today is Monday, April 25th, 2022, and I'm King.
Now Bitcoin Zay, here to bridge the gap between cryptocurrency and the community, Monday through Friday at 10-ish.
At 10-ish, and today's top story is the Central African Republic reportedly passes a bill to regulate crypto use. Kraken awarded crypto trading license in the United Arab Emirates. New York Senator Thomas proposes to criminalize rug pulls and other crypto frauds. And AkuDreams dev team locks up $33 million due to smart contract bug and more. But first and foremost, what's going on with those prices?
Oh, yeah. So our prices for today, Bitcoin at $38,832, down 2%, fell off a cliff this weekend. Ethereum at $2,863, down 2.6%. Binance Coin at $392, down almost 2.5% today. Solana sitting at $96.68, down 4.6%. XRP all the way down to 66 cents, is down 5.5% today. Terra Luna sitting at $90, is down 0.8%. Cardano at 85 cents, down almost 4%. And last but not least, rounding out the top 10 is Avalanche at $69, down 4.3%. And our biggest gainers for the day, Ben Dow, up 641%. Cyborg Shiba, just keep it going, I guess, up 316%. And Luffy at 229%.
There we go. And really quick, want to give a shout out to today's show sponsor. After the video, be on the lookout for Shiryo. Is that what it's called? Bitcoin Zay?
Oh, yeah, the Shiryo or Shiryo Metaverse.
Shiryo Metaverse. That is a sponsored review video, but we will be premiering that after the show today. So for those who are interested in new metaverses, make sure you check out the Shiryo Metaverse, which we will be premiering as well. It's an NFT trading card game too, right?
Oh, yeah. Yep. NFT trading card game. You can stake on there. Great way to play if you're into the GameFi system.
And again, we will have that sponsor review after the show. So again, thanks Shiryo Metaverse for that sponsored post. Okay, some quick shout outs. What is going on? Blockchain Bully, Satoshi Slim, Michael Kennedy, Kadeem, Jake Fever, Jared Pirto, Levin Super Mario, Wyatt Triad, Leroy is going on, Duran, Shada Zulu, Wendy Nichols. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Yes, make sure those notifications are on. 11 Super Mario say Elon, I guess, is about to get all of Twitter. Oh well. We'll see if he can make that happen. Top story of the day, though, the Central African Republic reportedly passed a bill to regulate crypto use. So I guess cryptocurrency is becoming legalized in the Central African Republic. What's going on here?
Oh, yeah. So it looks like the Central African Republic has become the center of hot buzz in the crypto world amid various reports of its adopting Bitcoin similar to El Salvador. However, contrary to popular headlines, the African nation has not adopted Bitcoin as legal tender. Instead, it has legalized the use of cryptocurrencies in the financial markets. I know on social media there was a little mix-up there. However, the cryptocurrency bill was introduced by Justin Gornizako, the Minister of Digital Economy, Post, and Telecommunications, and was unanimously approved by the lawmakers in Parliament, despite a protest from the opposition. So the crypto law aims to establish a favorable environment for the inclusive growth of the crypto sector in the region, which is good to see, because if you want to actually innovate and have these companies actually build, you can't stifle it. So that's good to see. The new law would reportedly allow traders and businesses to make crypto payments and also make way for tax payments in crypto through authorized entities. But you always know they got to make sure they sneak that in at the end. Yeah, you can use it as long as you pay them taxes on crypto. And I think they see where we're going, so they want to make sure that they get a piece of the pie, as you know. But here it says you could be fined up to 20 years and between 100 million to 1 billion francs, which I'm not sure what that is in US dollars, but doesn't sound good. So it seems as though they're trying to have a Bitcoin beach type place like El Salvador. And this is only right because people have been talking about the Central African Republic and other places in Africa adopting crypto anyway. So good to see there.
Hey, this is why Africa, the continent, again, I know how big it is, but it has never stood on its own for throughout modern history, because you're following the Western way of doing things. How, like, again, a new digital technology, and they're already talking about offenders who don't follow these laws could be sentenced up to 20 years. Like, the only thing you should be able to get sentenced up to 20 years in prison for is like murder, rape, killing, pedophilia, all that good stuff, right there, all that bad stuff, should I say. Like, those are like universal laws that haven't that stood through the test of time. But you talking about using the new technology? Oh, that gets you 20 years too. What?
Oh yeah,
what y'all
using the
talking about?
software. Yeah, using software to make sure
it was a software update.
Yeah, exactly. You're not using the colonizers' money. 20 years. I'm like, what?
And that's my point. And that's my point right there. So, I mean, yeah, hand clap that another country or republic or whatever is allowing Bitcoin. But hey, that's why Africa remains last. Like literally, your entire continent gets its natural resources, including the people, stolen from it, and you all just want to keep on keeping on. So, yeah, there you go. Central African Republic can use crypto, but not Bitcoin. And if they skirt their crypto laws, they will be due 20 years in prison. There we go. Yeah. Way to use technology, Central Africa.
Yeah.
That's another reason why
they still want some semblance of control. It's just human nature, man. They'll figure it out though once they can't control it. They'll see.
And that's why all these stories to me are clown stories, where every time I see this is going on in Africa and this is going to Africa and that, yeah, everybody can just use you all as like a media machine, a media PR marketing machine, clearly. And again, like, for them to say you get 20 years for breaking a crypto law we have not yet even said or established, we don't have the law yet. We're going to have it in like 3 weeks. But once we do have it, if you break it, that's 20 years in prison. I mean, it doesn't get any more subjective than that. Like, seriously, this is why Bitcoin is so important, because this entire slippery slope of humans telling other humans what, like, can you imagine this, people? You have a group of humans telling all the other humans in the area, hey, we haven't even made this law yet, but once we do, if you break it, we'll enslave you for 20 years.
20 years. Come on, bro.
And the law is based off of software. Like you said, it's based off of technology.
Gang. That's how they do.
Gang. Can't be mad at it. It's the way of the world. Rhett One said African countries should commit their stranded energy sources to mine Bitcoin, allow Bitcoin's legal tender, and F the colonizers' fiat. Yeah, but we know that's not going to happen. I mean, literally, they're playing by the book here. Well, sucks for Africa. They'll continue to do what they've been doing. That's getting stolen from them. I mean, that's really about it. All right. Kraken awarded crypto trading license in the United Arab Emirates. That's right. With the new operational license in Abu Dhabi, Kraken aims to provide access to global liquidity to local investors via dirham trading pairs. This is kind of interesting to me when I see places like Kraken get their licenses in the UAE. Of course, the UAE has oil money flowing through it. I mean, tons of money going in every direction. So when I see places like Kraken, after all this time, finally get a license in places like that, I got to go with your train of thought, which is what type of money laundering is going on next? Like, all of a sudden, y'all letting it happen. What is going to go on with those dirhams? That's right. California crypto exchange Kraken becomes the second virtual asset platform after Binance to receive regulatory approval to operate in the Abu Dhabi International Financial Center and Free Zone Abu Dhabi Global Market. In a CNBC interview, Kraken's managing director Curtis Ting explains the importance of diversifying trading pairs to local currencies instead of using the traditionally available United States dollar or Great British Pound in global markets. What are your thoughts on this story with Kraken getting, I guess, their licensing in Abu Dhabi now?
Oh, man. Well, I think they see the writing on the wall like everybody else. As they say here, they want to better integrate with local banks and payment service providers. They're a business, so I understand it. But it's sort of like the Trojan horse. Once they can get in and they can allow people to get crypto, people will start to realize, well, we may not need exchanges as much as we did before. We may not need to use US dollars or the British pounds like they stated here. So I think that Abu Dhabi wants to get a piece of that money. Existing massive trading volumes, they say here, is upwards $25 billion worth of cryptocurrency annually. They're not turning down their money. I mean, even 5% of that is enough for them to keep things rolling. And with Kraken and Binance being there, I'm sure we'll see more exchanges being added in Abu Dhabi. They have the regulatory license. And then they also said here, Citizen School in Dubai, they start accepting tuition payments in Bitcoin and Ethereum. So, I mean, it'll start becoming a payment system. Once businesses start using it, start accepting it, it's just becoming more and more. We're getting closer to the medium of exchange era, people. I told you it's coming. It takes some time to build, but this is what I think they're setting themselves up for.
There it is. There it is. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty cool to see that, again, these licenses are happening, and I get it. It's going to happen, but it's just one. You already know I'm about to go with it. It's just one of those things where it is disheartening to see, like, people, you all want to talk about price point, like the USD price of Bitcoin. You want to talk about innovation. The reason why the price point is still low compared for some people is not that 66,000 or above. The price point's low. Things are moving slow. It's because it's being manipulated. And I only say that because this is a form of manipulation. When countries say, okay, well, this is crypto's legal here, but Bitcoin is, or Bitcoin legal is here. Like, it is created to circumvent banks and governments. It's legal everywhere, people. Anyone can use it. It's free technology. Like, we really have to beat that into people's heads on the show every day, that anyone can use it and it's free. You don't need a government to tell you it's legal. Now you can or can't use it. But it's unfortunate because this is a narrative they're running with. People are going to follow it. And literally overnight, that's what you get. You wake up on a Monday morning. Hey, we don't got this law. We will have this law. And it'll be 20 years if you break this law. Like, that's the craziest thing to me.
Stroke of a pen. Change your whole life.
That shows you the strength of a gang right there. Let's see what else is going on. Let's go up to New York. New York Senator Thomas proposes to criminalize rug pulls and other crypto frauds. That's right. It sounds like someone got beat on the rug pull and they want their money back. State Senator Kevin Thomas seeks to provide prosecutors with a clear legal framework against crypto crimes that align with the spirit of the blockchain while combating fraud. That's right. And here's these shadowy, super hooded coders you can see here. New York State Senator Kevin Thomas introduced a new bill amendment request to establish certain offenses related to rug pulls and other frauds related to virtual token distribution, misuse of private keys, and hidden interest in crypto projects. Again, they're trying to make this less the Wild Wild West, but I don't think they understand how tough a task this is. You're talking about hidden interest in crypto projects. I mean, this is something that literally the only reason people know about is because people talk about. If people don't talk about their hidden interests, like, I don't think you'll know by and large who has what interest in what project. But the bill drafted by Senator Thomas, and another thing really quick, again, this is my issue. How are you going to be a state senator talking about hidden interest in crypto projects from the crypto sector when literally you have congressmen and women and senators who are allowed to rule against different organizations they actually have stock in?
Oh yeah, yeah, exactly. Let's look at those special interests. Like, how are you a millionaire on $100,000 salary worth 60 million? Come on,
crazy. Bro. Why do we have elected representatives? Listen, people, there are politicians and regulators worth over millions of dollars. Like, forget 1 million. We have regulators and politicians who net worth exceed $50 million. Did you know you're in the United States military and you become a millionaire, you have to report it? It has to be like an actual, what is it called? Not like a trial, but there's essentially like a meeting about should this person be allowed to stay. And the reason why is because they understand it is a service job. And the last thing they want a millionaire to be in is a service job, and they don't need the money, and they decide to go against the team. That is the last thing the military wants, because it'll cost lives. So I say the military isn't doing it. Why are politicians and regulators who are supposed to represent the people allowed to have $50 million plus when clearly they don't like their interest doesn't lie in representing the average person, which is crazy to me, but that's a whole other tangent. Again, we're talking about this bill being drafted by Senator Thomas. Senate Bill SA 839 calls for defining, penalizing, and criminalizing frauds specifically targeted at developers and projects that intend to dupe crypto investors. And again, this would be something pretty cool. Hopefully we can have Williams take on this. William Cross, of course, Law and Crypto, every Tuesday at 10 a.m. Hopefully we can get his take on this, because I would definitely want to see this broken down. But again, through this bill, Thomas seeks to provide prosecutors with a clear legal framework against crypto crimes that align with the spirit of blockchain while combating fraud. It calls for a law amendment that will imply rug pull charges on developers that sell more than 10% of such tokens within 5 years from the date of last sale of such tokens. Woo! I would actually say, I don't know how I feel about this just yet. In the moment, I would say, it's one. I mean, finally, if you're going to do some type of regulation, this is kind of one of the ones where it's like, I think it is messed up because, you know, innocent mistakes do happen, but I do like where their head is as far as like, hey, y'all gonna keep creating banks and shit, creating currencies. Well, I'm gonna need y'all to stamp y'all name next to it. I mean, this could be something different where we see the old school developers come back, where developers are known as rock stars, where it's just like, no, this person worked on the Bitcoin project, this person worked on this project, instead of what you have now, which is just every XYZ project popping up. with unsaid developer behind it. Now this really puts the stake back on the developers. What else is going on with this bill? And what are your thoughts?
Oh yeah, well I have mixed feelings because they always show up with things for your safety, which give them more power ultimately. So if they can just say to you, well, you can't use more than 10%, you can't sell it within 5 years. To me, that's sort of unfair because you don't know how much development goes into their project. You don't know the types of target dates they have, the roadmap. Because again, they say 5 years, right? All right, what if they do it in 3? And the project has already been $1 billion project. Like, what's wrong with that? That we built something from scratch and it's $1 billion project now, and we sold some of our tokens to give ourselves money for not getting paid for the last 3 years. So you just can't put a stringent thing on it, because all I was gonna do is control it more. What happens when they say, well, now you can't, developers can only get 5% and you can only sell it after 10 years. Like, they could just keep doing it. And when that Pandora's box is open, it is what it is. But New York, it seems like they want to shoot themselves in the foot when it comes to crypto. And they also, to me, being hypocrites. We have an entire state or entire city full of banks that have done all of the fraud and nefarious things you could think of. But somehow we're worried about rug pulls in crypto, when in reality, that is one of the best points of self-reporting and self-regulation that we have. Somebody rug pulls, you're dead in this space, pretty much. So we don't even need them to, to regulate that.
Self-regulation wins again.
Exactly. And it's like, yeah, some people lost money, but as it has happened more, the ICO thing, it's happened way less recently. Rug pulls are now for, dumb people who are new in the space, just need more education. And I'd rather that, because we'll self-regulate, than them coming up with some weird framework that nobody else uses, just New York. So, hey man, I feel bad for people in New York. Y'all have some of the worst regulators ever. They hurt you even when they're trying to help you. It's like, all right, man, just let it go, bro. Let it go.
Yeah, somebody was pointing out about like they're trying to protect and stuff. Like literally, and I saw in the comments too, the banks are in the New York people. Like, you need no other view of corruption and gangs being gangs than literally looking at the government in New York City and the state of New York, where they literally have the opposite approach to crypto out of everyone else in the United States. I wonder why. Again, it has nothing to do with all those big Wall Street banks in their backyard, right? Hilarious. But yeah, this is kind of crazy to see. I'm with you. That is a good point. Like, and that's the problem. If there's something like this were to pass, it would be derivatives on derivatives on amendments on amendments on that bill. It would be, like you said, well, if it's, before 5 years and you made over $1 billion, then you can pull it out. But if it's after 5 years, but if it's 3 years, but if this mean project people, if this mean, like, it'll just be paperwork on paperwork. And that's what they want. So by the time they're done 2-3 years from now, 4 years from now, we don't know what rights a developer has. The U.S. can carte blanche arrest them or confiscate what they want. They can do and say what they want to. Like, that's literally what they want. They want you to get confused with all the paperwork in different directions. So when you say it like that, I am with you, Zay. Like, let's keep it as it is. It doesn't need, nothing needs to be done. Self-regulation is here to stay. One thing we said early on that we continue to see is that for the projects that do shoot themselves in the foot early on, they decide to scam people, rug pull, do whatever. Like, people, that's the end of their crypto journey. That was it. That's literally it for the overwhelming majority of them. And we're going to be here for a very long time. So, I mean, literally just one bad actor less in this community from self-regulation as well. So,
oh man, the likes are looking terrible right now. We might have to start singing in a second. About to be karaoke time.
The likes been sketchy a few times, a few different days. Listen, all this good content, we lacking on the likes, folks. We're gonna need you to smash that like and share like ASAP.
We about to be here singing.
I'm glad we can't hear it though, because we don't want to get this copyright thing.
Nah, it's all good.
You gotta share the sound. When you share it.
Yeah, I forgot. I was saying what you do. You gotta do the sound, but it's funny because the copyright thing, you only need 10 seconds.
I'm still alive. I'm still alive. I'm still alive.
Hey,
I'm still alive.
All right, that's it. Right? That's it. Trust me, that's it. And pinging us later.
Get the likes up, people. I was singing myself.
Smash those likes. There we go. Let me take a peek. What are we looking like? Oh, there we go. They starting to jump up a little bit. There we go.
Oh yeah. Wake y'all ass up. It's Monday, but hey, it's another day.
It's definitely another day. Speaking of rug pulls, AkuDreams dev team locks up $33 million due to smart contract bug. You told me about this over the weekend. I didn't even believe what I was hearing, but it sounds like a highly anticipated NFT project has been hit with an exploit and a smart contract bug, causing a disruption to his auction and leaving the team with $33 million unable to be assessed. What's going on with this story?
Man, well, when you talk about bad news, Jesus Christ, shout out to my boy Micah Johnson, who created the Aku basically universe. He had an entire thing at Art Basel. He has the AkuDreams project coming, but there has been an exploit and a smart contract bug causing a disruption in the auction, and it left the team with $33 million unable to be accessed. The highly anticipated NFT project AkuDreams, which is basically Aku avatars, was marred with both an exploit and bug on the weekend, causing over 11,500 Ethereum, worth nearly 33 million, to be locked forever within a smart contract, inaccessible even to the development team. The project went live Friday. I remember them talking about the project going live, where the auction, where the price is lowers until it receives a bid, with the first bid winning the sale as long as the price is above the reserve. It opened at 3.5 ETH with only 5,495 of the available up for sale. And holders of the Aku Mint Pass were given a discount. So this bug was actually found by, I saw it from a developer, 0x Fubar. He basically showed that this project was, or that the development, there was 2 or 3 lines of code. That's it, people. 2 or 3 lines of code, 33 million gone. And that's one thing we have to worry about with the developments, with getting audits, with making sure your smart contracts are tight and that there's no exploits. Because imagine if the ownership of your house was in a smart contract, and then all of a sudden, oh man, 2 bad lines of code, you don't own your house anymore. All right, now you gotta, like, you can't have that. So it's gonna take a while for it to get to mainstream, because with big projects like this, 33 million is nothing to sneeze at. And now, I mean, my boy Micah, he had to apologize, the team had to apologize. But again, when the coding and the dev team messes up, I wonder how New York would look at this case. Would they look at this as a rug pull because people lost money, or would they just say it's just a mistake by the dev team because nobody got paid off of it? So unfortunate to see 33 million gone, but it looks like they'll be paying back or issuing refunds as soon as possible, and paying back whoever tried to mint the AkuDreams. So shout out to them, but it sucks, people. We keep trying to tell you, NFT DeFi space is still the Wild West.
Well, here's the thing too. Now, Solo 314 said the same thing. How do you rug pull yourself? As you just said, and this is my issue when it does come to regulation. That quick, 2 more pages of paper. Like that quick. Fine. We got the rug pull law in for developers. We just added, like, literally, we just added new amendments and pages of paper. The first ones, if you remember, well, what happens if the project is actually a success early on? Like you said, hits $1 billion early on. All right, we got to add some writing for that. Well, what happens if they actually lock themselves off and even developers can't get it? All right, now we got right shit. You see how that just worked that quick, people?
Yeah, it just
one bill, three different things to go along with it. Like, no self-regulation. No, here's the self-regulation. That project don't get nothing. Boom.
Yeah.
Like, it's over.
Exactly.
It's over with.
Now, what about this? That's the one thing we talk about too with the tax stuff is, okay, now those people that own Aku, do they owe taxes on that? And then let's say it's locked up, but some genius figures out a way to unlock it. Then is it now in the next tax year? Like, that's the thing, is like stuff like this happens so much in the industry. It's like there can't be no real clarity except for them just catching up. So after it happens, like you said, more stuff coming.
Yeah, and it's interesting too with that. A lot of people saying such a positive project. They like the project, good stuff to go with it. One person said this is going to lead to a mass exodus of programmers and coders from the US. I don't know. We'll see. A lot of programmers and coders already know how to kind of master the location anyway. So possibly. But again, this does suck that this happened. I guess, they did rug pull themselves. This is bizarre. This is, is terrible. Like you said, what would happen if ever they can actually access the contract? That's one thing that we have to actually look at. And then I don't know. This is a very interesting story. Let's see. Oh, that's what I was gonna say. Free Mind Canada said they obviously did not fully test on testnet before deploying to the mainnet. So that's what I was gonna say. When it comes to this, you just kind of said how these are all in beta. To me, people personally, the moment a crypto quote unquote project is introduced, let's say you're sitting around your friends, your buddies, or your co-working space, or whatever, your accelerator, your startup, crypto project ideal. How about we XYZ, even simple NFT, right? Even simple smart contract. To me personally, it still takes about at minimum a year and a half of development and test before you launch. What we are seeing right now, I would say a year and a half to 2 years. Instead, what we're seeing is people are at the round table. They're coming up with great ideas, and they are launching within a month and a half, 2 months. I mean, literally, after said ideal comes about, within 60 days, they're having sales, they're launching, they have all this stuff going on. Their next best thing, they're in the top page of the paper and all this other stuff. It takes a year and a half, 2 years to test this, people. We're trying to tell you. It does. Like part of the test itself is time online. Like that's part of a test.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? Like,
and,
so
and also people don't realize too, with these dev teams being centralized, that's the only group of people working on it. People don't realize Bitcoin had an inflation bug in 2010 that could have expanded the supply infinitely, that could have damaged the entire network, and Bitcoin would have never progressed. Some random dude just fixed it. Some random developer. You know why? Because there is no central team per se, or there wasn't at the time. So there's a bunch of developers. If you could choose from any developer in the world to fix it, then you got a better shot. That's why Bitcoin was fixed, and we haven't had problems since. But these projects, if you got a central core developers and they can't fix it, it's over for you, buddy. You just it's nothing you could do there. The decentralization needs to happen.
I mean, that's a good point. I mean, Bitcoin from the early days to now, I mean, you're talking about like 300 of the best developers on the planet, all picking apart at it, all going after it, and at the same time, hackers attacking it. Like that's why we keep saying Bitcoin is the grand chain right now. Like it's still the longest and strongest, and it has been messed with. And probably has had some of the most eyes on it when it comes to the project. I know Ethereum's had a lot of developers, but a lot of them are not at the same level as some of the Bitcoin developers. I mean, for example, don't get it wrong, like the core Ethereum ones are top tier for the most part, but even still, what's boy from our old boy from Cardano? Would you put him next to Adam
Charles Hoskinson? No.
Yeah, you get what I'm saying?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
No offense, but it's
different. It's a different level. Yeah, still levels.
You're talking about in basketball terms, an all-star next to a superstar. And that's being polite when I say all-star. So there's definitely different levels to it. But that was just Bitcoin and Ethereum. Now let's go down to number whatever, right? Let's go down to the number whatever, and all of a sudden your project is going to change the world. It's like, got to go through a stress test first. It needs to hit that top 5, top 10. People need to find out about it. It needs to be tried to attack. But yeah, Michael Kennedy said right now a lot of these projects, we might be lucky we get a week of testing, and that's crazy, people. But this is what comes with the week of testing. Like literally, this is what comes with it. So. Michael Kennedy says so many of the devs are 25 or younger in alts.
Exactly.
And believe me, we know these are the underlying issues that when we talk about altcoins or shit coins, it's like people aren't thinking about because this is why people just looking at the promise, the speculation. Well, this is supposed to do this. And I mean, how many projects do we have on the show? And no offense to them, but we have them doing AMAs, we have them doing the video reviews and so on and so forth, where it's like, oh yeah, we're going to do this. Or we're also going to do this, and we're going to do this, and we're going to do that. And it's like, even if everything you say works out on time and on target, you're still looking at months away. And they're talking weeks, most of them. So it's just like, so you're assuming everything's going to be perfect and you're going to launch in a few weeks. And it's just like, all right, well, another ending of this story.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's see. You got anything else? This is about it for the show today.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Slow news. But yeah, that's it for me today.
Slow news cycle. Zay and I would try to be in the same room tomorrow. Zayden came to LA for a short pit stop. So we'll try to sync up for the same show. Other than that, check out the masterclass, check out the membership services. Again, we will be in the Discord this week as well. So make sure you check that out. We had to push it this weekend because I saw a lot of people were emailing and having issues signing on. So for this weekend, it was mostly onboarding people. But again, we will be in that Discord live and direct. So make sure you check that out as well. Other than that, be on the lookout today. Again, Shiryo Metaverse will be having that video review right after. And then, of course, the Simon family will be on, as well as a few various other shows. So make sure you have that notification bell on, and we will see you all tomorrow with some more crypto news. Cheers.
Cheers.